Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Hump Day Wednesday edition of the JP Peterson Show. And what a show it was last night at Amalie Arena. Peter Blake, what do you have for us to start the show?
Oh, well, here we go.
Well, let's do it.
He passes stamp, goes right back to point. To Heaven at the left point. One-timer, Kucherov, score! The first goal of the NHL season, Nikita Kucherov.
There you go. Kucherov. Yes.
Kucherov, as a great Paul Porter likes to say. Yes, what a sound that was. The slap of the shot and then the bang in the back of the net. Yes, sir. And the Lightning were up 1-0 and on their way to a 5-3 win. A very entertaining game last night at Amalie Arena. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. We will be recounting all of the festivities from last night's great 5-3 win in the opener. What did we learn about the team? We'll go over that. We'll hear from John Cooper. We'll take you behind the scenes to all the shenanigans going on last night in the suites as I was schmoozing around there, talking to all my Hall of Fame friends. Yeah, I'm dropping names this morning, Peter Blake. I'm dropping names.
I see you. And 8 Hall of Famers?
Oh, my God, it was fantastic.
I mean, this organization knows how to do it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do. They do. And you know what? They have the gravitas and the relationships to make it happen. You know, to get all those guys together in one puck drop, unbelievable. Brought in Wade Boggs, Baseball Hall of Famer, grew up in South Tampa. Fred McGriff, newly minted Hall of Famer, grew up in Tampa, Baseball Hall of Famer. Rondé Barber, of course, Tampa Bay resident. Derek Brooks, Tampa Bay resident. Buccaneers Hall of Fame. Then you had Rick Peckham, Hall of Fame broadcaster. Dickie V was there, another Hall of Fame broadcaster, looking good. He had great energy as always. Dickie V was there. Of course, Andrew Chuck, Esposito, Peckham, everybody. That was freaking cool. And they were all up in the Lightning box as well. But you walk in there and it's there's lobster rolls, there's high-end wine and all kinds of it's so nice up there. They roll out the red carpet for all the important people. Oh, it was fantastic. And that's why these guys show up, because they get treated like kings when they go to the Lightning games. They get treated like kings. How Wade Boggs tried to get into a visiting locker room, or actually the home locker room, to visit some old friends at Tropicana Field, and they told him no. That's how they treat their Hall of Famers over there. And they've embraced them lately, but that happened. The Lightning, they know how to do it, and they got everybody out there, and they were happy to be there. Went up and saw Rondé and Claudia. They were all having a great time up there in the suite, and Dickie V and Freddie McGriff, saw him last night, got to chat with him. Wade Boggs went over and said hi to Wade. He was having a great time, and Debbie was there. Man, it was so fun. It was so fun last night. And Titus O'Neil was there, of course. Thaddeus Bullard. He was in the suite, and come third period, tied at 3. Completely organic, not one of our well planned hype up moments. They got a shot of him in the suite, and he walks down to the front of the suite, and he's like getting everybody fired up, and the place is going bananas. And what do you know? They score a goal. A minute and a half later, Nicky Paul's putting it in the back of the net to take a 4-3 lead as they go on to a 5-3 win. I mean, it's just the atmosphere, over 20,000, more than the playoff crowd. It was for opening night, not playoffs. It was fantastic.
At 5:30, though, let's be fair.
5:30. Oh my God, it is so early. How were people like? Oh, nobody's going to show up. I will say it was a late arriving crowd. It was a late arriving crowd because parking, with the people coming out, I was still parking. But you know what? They find a way. They find a way to get there. You know why? Because they care.
That's it.
Because the fans care. You know why they care? Because there's an owner that they love to support. They love to support. You know why?
Himself to the fans.
Because he gives back to the community.
Yes.
Doesn't hold them up for 5 years or 10 years with a stadium thing. No, doesn't do all that. Pours all the money back into the community, back into the team to win championships. And that's why the people love the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's fantastic. It's absolutely what an atmosphere. And I'll tell you what, I like what I saw from the young kids across the board. Some of them are older kids that have been brought in, but really, really good fits. And Nick Paul was talking about that. He's like, people want to come play here. And we don't bring in just guys. Even, we got salary cap issues. Guys want to come play here. Tyler Mott took a lot less contract to come here. DeHaan, all these guys, these are good hockey players. And I think they're going to fit in really, really well. And Jonas Johansson last night, this kid is, I call him a kid. He's 28 years old.
Yeah.
He's been playing a lot of hockey, not only just in the NHL, a little bit in the NHL, but in the Finnish league. And listen, he played well last night. I thought he played really, really well. Doing the last call post-game show on the Lightning Network last night with Brian Enblom. I'm just dropping names everywhere right now.
Man, all around town. I mean, you do this show, you're doing the Lightning Vision.
Come on.
I mean, you're the man. You're the man. Hey, Peterson,
dropping names like Tally was dropping deuces this morning. My God.
Wait a minute.
Saved them up for me. It was Brian talked about it. He said, he doesn't look like he has to make the spectacular save all the time because he's so big and he's in position. He's 6'5", 220. He's in position. He moves well. So he's not flailing around. And when, the last 2+ minutes when Nashville was, it was a 1-goal game and they were 6-on-5, he was in control. There was chaos around him, but he was well positioned. He wasn't moving, extraneously when he didn't need to. He's just really good and calm. So that's a good sign. And he gets his first win for the Lightning, which is great. And I thought he played really well. The first goal by Ryan O'Reilly is just a great toe drag by Forsberg. He put it on Hedman. He got to put it on Hedman right there and left him reaching and just put it right on Ryan O'Reilly's tape. Got his first goal as a Nashville Predator. That's a tough goal for anybody to stop.
Sure it is.
Great one there. The shot, trying to remember the guy who did just, it threw a sliver of a window. He puts it, near side on the post. So tough shot there for him to stop. So I thought Johansson played really, really well last night. The penalty kill was much better. Luke Glendening was brought in here to win faceoffs in the penalty circle, and that's exactly what he did. I think it was 9 of 12 last night, and some big penalty kill faceoff wins, which is something the Lightning were terrible at last year. And so he did his job. That's what we need him to do. So the penalty kill was 1 for 4 or 3 for 4. The penalty kill was. Yep. So not bad. I thought they did a really, really good job with that. And the power play, you might want to say, where's Nick?
Is that one of the most devastating power plays in the league? I mean,
look at it now. I mean, the Paul takes the place of, I thought Cirelli was going to get some of the first power play unit, but Nick Paul's kind of sees that position in front of the net and down low. So, and I love him in that spot. I mean, he's 6'4", 220, and he's strong. So he can provide a great screen in front of the goaltender. And then he did what he did last night. And that's when there's the scrum in front after the shot, he's so big and powerful that he got to 2 of them and put them right back in. That second one was easy, man. He's just, he's got, as we say, a big old backside, and he hunkers down in there and has got a long reach, and he just hunkered down, got that rebound, kind of shielded the goalie a little bit and pumped it in, and that's a great power. Now you've got, I mean, think about it. You got Stamkos' shot from the office. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now you got, Killorn was good there, but I think Nick Paul can be better. I think he can be better. You've got obviously the great, the best playmaker in the game, and Nikita Kucherov for my money. On the other side, you got Hedman with his great shot, Sergachev, and you got Braden Point there in the bumper position. You got Nicky Paul. That's a great power play. I mean, that's a fantastic power play. And you add a little bit of muscle in front now with Nick Paul, and you get 2 for 5. I'll take a 40% power play for the rest of the year. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, I thought I thought the team looked, were they perfect? No. They got outplayed in the second period. Nashville got a couple of power plays in that period. They outshot them, I think, 13-4 in the second period. The Bolts came out and outshot the Preds 13-2, but scoring chances were 9-2. 9 scoring chances in the first period. If not for Saros, Nashville's fine goaltender, that could have been 3-4 in the first period. Correct. But it wasn't. And then they tied it up, and then Nashville actually took a lead. Then the Lightning come back. Hagel gets a penalty shot, courtesy of a Luke Shen hook. Thank you very much. But he made it work. Those are not easy, especially beating Saros. So, congrats to Hagel. So you got Cooch with a couple of goals. He gets an empty netter. The 2 big Nick Paul goals, the Hagel goal. It all adds up to a nice 5-3 opening night win for the Lightning. And, look, I know that the odds makers don't like them to win the cup. I think that's kind of a Vassie's down. It's very similar to the Buccaneers. Very similar. Brady leaves. Oh, you suck. You're going to, no, there's still a roster here. There's still a roster here of championship pedigree players. All right. You could sit there and say, oh, they lost Vasilevsky. Some of the other guys are getting old. I say horseshit. Okay. This Lightning team has got a lot of new blood in it. I like, some of the new kids. Marilla last night got his pocket pick, came back and got the puck back and went down and got a scoring chance. He can skate. He can play in this league, and he's only going to get better. Mikey Asamoah, we saw him a lot last year, but I love his forecheck that he's bringing to Connor Sheary, his forecheck. It's a faster team. That school bus line was great, but it was old and slow.
Yes. So that fourth line last night was a lot faster, and that's what you look forward to. Yes.
Buzzing, man. So I think they're faster. They're going to be harder to play against. Janot was throwing his body around when Austin Watson kind of gets in there. He'll be doing the same. So I think it was a really good mix. We're not handing out the cup tonight. We're not doing any of that. But I like what I saw last night, and you like what you hear from the players, that this is a good group and they're going to gel well together. And I think this whole Vasilevsky thing, who, by the way, got the biggest ovation last night when they introduced all the players. Vasi was on the bench, and when he was the last one introduced, and the place went bananas, and Vasi was smiling ear to ear. I didn't think he expected that. Quite honestly, I don't think he expected it. And they're hitting the Vasi growl, and it was great. It was a great opening to the game, and they went out and played well. They played really, really well. So now they'll go on the road for 3 straight divisional games, and 2 of them back-to-back. They've got Detroit on Saturday, then Ottawa, and then Buffalo. All of these teams will be laying in wait for the Lightning, right? It's like they're sending teams. They're going to be like, oh, here comes the wounded Lightning, huh? I think they got a little chip on their shoulder. I think they had a little chip on their shoulder, like, okay, you want to count us out? Good. We're not going anywhere. We're not effing leaving. We're not effing leaving.
There's a drop. There is a drop right there that I got to get. And I tell you right now, I don't know how Ottawa traded Paul, because it certainly seems like, he's always around the net. He's always making plays. And it seems like, JP, he's going to have a breakout season. And furthermore, you talk about Hagel with the penalty shot there, how skilled he's going to be and how much potential he has. I tell you what, let's go out to these comments, and then we'll get out to John Cooper. Bucs Basement says, high-scoring offense in the league through 1 game, and what a shock. When you build where the team is most financially valuable, you will get a legion of fans. Take notes to the Rays.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Yes. Let's go out to Zach Mitchell here, big-time Tampa Bay Lightning hockey fan overall, who talked about Marilla just about a week ago. Expect Kucherov to have a huge year. He's going to shoot the puck more, rack up more goals. He was back on the ice early along with other guys. You see his work ethic. These guys look fresh and hungry to make a deep run. Zach again.
Zach, man, I love that comment, and I think you're spot on. And that shot from Kucherov, me and Brian talked about this on a postgame show last night. That was unexpected. He shot the puck more than anybody last year. He shot more, but he never shoots from those areas. He was 20 feet out in the slot, and normally he passes that puck and tries to make a play, but there was no play to be made. So he just freaking ripped one, and we forget what a great shot he has and what a shot that was. If he starts taking shots from that area, wow. And I think he'll get to 50. He'll get to 50 if he keeps shooting like that. No question about it.
He also says just a true competitor. Guy has a couple goals, is still punching the glass when he gets back on the bench. Absolute gamer.
Yep.
And then Zach again. Messier says, don't sleep on Tampa. Don't sleep on
Wagging my finger.
Don't sleep on Tampa. Love it.
No, sleep on them all year long. Just go to sleep on them.
No Vasilevsky. The world's about to end. Everything is falling apart. They're an older team, by the way. They have veteran leadership, but this team is pretty young too. Again, you talk about Paul Hagel. I mean, Braden Point, breakout year last year. Certainly seems like he could do the same this year. They get a plethora. Leo Haggerty word right there.
Three assists last night for Braden Point. Let us not miss that. The 2 goals from Cooch, 2 from Paul. This team they're way too not make the playoffs. Are you kidding me?
Playoffs?
Like I can't. Like that's crazy to me. You got a Norris Trophy winner in Hedman who was injured all of last year, finally healthy. You got an MVP winner in Kucherov. That's some number one bullshit that the Lightning aren't going to make the playoffs. You still, you got a 50-goal scorer in Braden Point who's always been underrated in my eyes. You got one of the best two-way forwards in the game that always gets Selke votes in Sorelli. Jesus.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. It's early yet.
It's just there's so many good pieces to this team, and not to mention a hell of a defensive core. And then here's another thing, John Cooper. John Cooper still doesn't get the respect that he deserves as a head coach in this league. He is one of the best at managing games and motivating players. I think that's one of his biggest strengths. And so I don't think he gets enough credit. He's now 8-3 in openers in the John Cooper era. This is now his 11th season. So, all right. Speaking of Coop, let's go out to Coop and listen to his post-game comments.
Hard. I mean, there's so much emotion goes into the first game, and I know there's 82 of them, but there's something special about the first one, the home opener. Guys wanting to impress. Guys have won jobs, and we have a bunch of new guys out there, and I thought everybody contributed right down the line. Everybody had something to do with this win tonight, from the goalie on the way on out. And if we're going to have success, this team, it's going to come from everybody. I mean, we the penalty kill was great. We got beat on a shot it's a special shot by that kid. But the contributions from everybody, that's what we're going to need. And it was great for these new guys to get not only their feet wet, but have contributions to the game.
All right, so welcome back. There you go.
Yeah.
I think he basically tells you what it's all about. It's not just about one player, which again, you get lost with this team because they are so dependent on Vasilevsky throughout the years, as they should be sometimes. But then again, of course, they get lax when it comes to defense. And basically, he's foreshadowing, telling you it's not going to be like that this year. And it wasn't like that last night.
Well, if this team can, limit the shot attempts on the goalie while Vasi's out, and then when he comes back, he's only got to face 20, 25 shots a game. That's, with the scoring power that this team has, the touch that they have, the skill that they have, they're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a really, really tough out. So, yeah, go ahead, sleep on the Lightning if you want. But it's this team, I think it's going to play. I read John Romano's column this morning, and it's kind of like, looks like a nice little team. We'll see. And that's true. I mean, to a degree, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy after one night. But here's one thing that I saw last night. After they made some mistakes on defense, which they did, and they're learning this new system, and they gave up a couple of chances and a goal, they lose the lead. You know what they did? 3 times last night. They came back and tied the game and took the lead.
Quickly.
Right? Yeah.
Quickly.
So, and there was never a feeling to me that they were going to lose that game. Mm-hmm. It was like, you know what? Okay, you push, we push harder. And that's the championship pedigree. When you have a team that's won a cup, 2 cups like this, and listen, like some of these guys weren't here. I get that. Those are the hungry guys. But the guys that are still here are the ones that know, like Nick Paul and Kucherov, how to do it. Like they have this supreme confidence that even if you come back on us, we're fine. We're not going to panic here. We're going to play our game. We're going to score and we're going to win. And that sounds like, so generic, right? Oh, doesn't every team feel that way? No. You know why? Because until you etch your name on the cup, you don't get to feel that way. All right? Until you can pick that sucker up and see your name on there twice. That says, you can say that you feel that way. You could say you're a confident team. You could say all that, but you know what you can't do? You can't look at your name on a cup. That's a different feeling. It's a different feeling. Those guys don't think they can do it. They know they can.
Oh, they can do it.
There's a big freaking difference.
Yep.
That's championship pedigree. And the other thing is they know what it takes. They know what level you got to get to. The other guys that don't have their name on the cup, that think they can do it, they don't, because it's not been imprinted on their DNA. The guys that are here know it, and they know it twice. So, that stuff, just like the Buccaneers, they've lifted the trophy. They know what it takes. And when they're not giving that effort, they know they're not giving that effort, right? Like last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they know they know they're selling themselves short. So,
all right,
time to transition to the Buccaneers as we get ready for a big.
I wanted to go out to this comment really quick. Barry Melrose and all the pundits think the Lightning are going to tank. Good. I wouldn't have it any other way. Although, going back to Melrose, kind of some sad news yesterday. He's going to retire some stint with the Lightning, but has Parkinson's disease, which is scary in itself. Your thoughts on Melrose and his contribution, maybe not necessarily to the Tampa Bay Lightning, but his contribution overall to the league on ESPN and other networks?
Barry, he's a good friend of the show. He's been on the show many times. In fact, hopefully we'll get him on here soon. I hope, in these days as he battles Parkinson's, he lives out at the beach. And I hope he becomes a steady figure at Lightning games, kind of like Scotty Bowman has done, guys that live in the area, and we can all just sit around and listen to his stories and enjoy his company because it is fabulous. He is just such a nice man. He is he's a really, really dude. He's a dude's dude, despite, some of the suits and some of the other stuff. He's a dude's dude, man. And he's just a fun guy and a super nice guy to hang around. I've had the ability to do that. And, I'm a little choked up at that because Parkinson's is a bitch, man. It is a bitch. But, there are some new and very exciting therapies for it that are helping people. So hopefully I'm sure he'll get the best care. But that sucks, man. It really, really sucks. But it's not going to keep him, Mark Richt is going through the same thing. Another man I got to know in my younger career at Florida State. And even when I went to Atlanta for a couple of years, he was the head coach at Georgia. Helped me get that job up there and has always been super kind to me. Brad Johnson's brother-in-law, and he's battling Parkinson's, but he's still on the ACC network and doing a hell of a job too. So the mind still stays sharp. So I hope Barry can contribute, and I'm going to reach out to him and ask him if he'll come on our show every week, just to keep his, if he wants to keep the mind sharp and talking hockey, and we'd love to have him. So we'll see. We'll see if that, I don't know what, kind of shape he's in. That thing hits you in different ways and at different levels. But Coach Richt has been able to do it. And I hope if I can in any way, I'm sure that those two have probably connected already. If they haven't, I'll try to put it together. But it's sad. It's sad when you see people like this afflicted but we're all going to make the best of it, and hopefully we can do our part. I hope we can have him on the show. But yes, and I haven't seen that Barry was thinking that the Lightning will take a step back. He may be right. We'll see. But like I felt with the Bucs, I feel the same way with the Lightning. They're energized. They got a little chip on their shoulder. I like their talent. I like their pedigree. I like where they're at. We'll see. That's what the season's about. Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
All right, let's go out to the comments. Hugs, my friend. Keep pushing. Love the highlights. Zach says, how about Mirla standing up to Luke Shin?
Yeah.
Line in the ozone towards the end of the first. Kevin Weeks was shocked. And then Lonnie Wilkins, I need to see JP and Creamsicle this week, just so I know hell froze over. Stay strong, coach. We have a war, Creamsicle. I told you my story. I was about ready to pull out the jacket today.
You got to pull out the jacket, man.
I'll tell you what. I'll do that on break. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be wearing it on break.
I got this Creamsicle thing they gave us a few weeks ago in the
shirt,
press
right?
box. Is it a shirt? No, I think it's a bandana. Hold on.
Is it a bandana?
We're opening it up live. Oh, it's a flag. Is it a flag?
Oh, look at that.
It's a flag.
Now you'll see a picture of me.
Oh, how about that, Lonnie? I took a
flag. I took a flag and made it into a bandana. I have the bandana on, and I'll post that up sometime here on Facebook or Twitter, and the orange jacket with the awful glasses. No wonder I got made fun of. But I have a flag just like that was made into.
How about I just do the show the whole time, and I'll cut out a little piece here from my lips. And I'll just talk like this the whole time. How's that? How's that, Lonnie? Does that work?
Does that work right there? There you go, Lonnie.
Welcome to the show, Buccaneer fans. Here we are. It's Creamsicle week. And we're going to wear this hideous orange the whole week. Just so you, and talk like this for the whole freaking time. Me mateys. They're playing the Lions. Bring them on. We'll skewer them.
He said the flag matches JP's Hooters shorts.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
What's the connection with Hooters?
Big fan.
You used to work there as a busboy, believe it or not.
Nicely done. No, I never shucked oysters like Gruden. What he doesn't tell you is he had to take out the trash too.
Oh yeah, you have to. If you work there.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do.
The lovely Ashley worked at Hooters and still has her uniform.
Well, there you go.
And still fits in it quite well, I might add.
I bet she does.
Yeah. She can wear those orange shorts. Let me tell you. And you don't wear those anywhere around the house, honey. That's all. You ain't going out in public in those things.
Friday, Saturday nights are fun at the JP Peterson house.
Yeah. Let's play Hooters tonight, honey. Absolutely. Yes.
The Hooters girls are always with the kitchen staff. So you're the kitchen guy or the dishwasher. Hey, I got to wash dishes tonight.
I'm the line cook, baby. I can fry it up, baby. With the best of them. Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go, my friend. Works out.
Yeah, and speaking of the Bucs, we will get to the Bucs. Anthony Becht is going to join us here in just a little bit. Which we got much to talk about. Rocco, his son, is playing as a freshman at Iowa State. Got a big win this past weekend. Made me some money. So we'll talk to him about that. The XFL is merging with the USFL. Of course, he was a championship coach there in St. Louis. So we'll chat with him about that. Covers the Jets in the preseason. So all things football with Anthony Becht. We'll hear from Devin White, by the way, who is, he's going to be the man this weekend. He will be the man targeted by the Lions in the run game. I can assure you of that. And he's going to have to step up and get off some blocks and make some plays. Is he going to be able to do it against the third best rushing team in the league? We shall see. But he is being challenged. He knows that. So that's good. He says he's healthy. He can step up and do it. I like it. Let's see it. All right, quick break. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. If your car has been totaled in an accident and you don't think you got the settlement you deserve, give the folks at the Jeeves Law Group a call. That's right in their wheelhouse. They'll see what they can do with that. In any type of accident, you want to be with the Jeeves Law Group. If you have an insurance claim from the hurricane, the Jeeves Law Group will represent you vigorously and viciously. So give them a call. Go to thejeeveslawgroup.com. Tell them JP sent you. And Bay Area Modern Medical Center as well, BAMMC.com. Back in 3 with Anthony Becht. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. So good to have you guys here. We thank you so much for subscribing to the podcast on Apple and Spotify and all those other places. The YouTube channel is growing. Our views are going through the roof because we get the greatest guests and the funnest people, like our next guest, the great Anthony Becht, or should I just call you Rocco's dad now? Like you were never even in the NFL. You're now Rocco's dad. And you know what's funny? I hate to scare you, your beautiful wife, Deanna. But when you search Rocco Becht now, you know what comes up? Rocco Becht's mom. So must be getting some shots of you two in the crowd, man. Congratulations. How does that feel to see your son out there balling like that against TCU and winning a big game?
No, man, thanks for having me on. It's great. I mean, it's stressful, as a player and a coach. I don't really get like that anxiety in my chest, but when you're watching your kid out there and, he's such a young player, but he's learning every single game, every single snap. I'm proud of him. It's not easy to play quarterback.
Oh.
Went to Oklahoma, played at places, the environment's a little different than, where he's been in the past. So, to go up there and do what he's doing, he's having a great season. He's on pace to do some special things his freshman year at that school historically. So I just want him to stay healthy and, listen, freshman, man, he's got a long way to go, and it's fortunate for him he gets the opportunity to play at a young age.
Anthony, what's the first thing you taught him on the field, getting on the field and off the field? What are some of the things that you taught your son?
I taught him a lot of the intangible qualities that are needed to be a leader of men. When you're the quarterback, you got to take the bullets regardless of what happens in a game. I remind them text them after every game, whether if it's good, hey, give the praise to everybody else. When it's bad, take the bullets, right? And, it's just put it on you and move on. And the guys will respect you for that. And, but yeah, I think he's learned a lot. He's gotten a lot from me. It's all stages, right? So in high school, you give him so much that's needed. And then when you make that step to college, I give him more information that's needed, more than a lot of other kids are going to get in their entire college career, but what he can handle. And then whatever's the future is, continue to give him that. So it's a step-to-step deal. You can't give him everything, because if you give him everything, he won't remember anything. So, he's just he goes about it the right way. He understands the old way of maybe things that the way they were done when I was coming up, and the things that I went through, and I didn't have someone to press on and give me the tips that I needed to be successful or to have an edge. And those are the things that I give him now at this level that he's at. But the intangible stuff to me is important. I know that goes a long way. And for him to start working on that now will bode well for him in the future, whatever he decides to do.
I was just reading an article about last week's game against TCU, and Matt Campbell, who's a great coach at Iowa State. So lucky Rocco gets to learn under him now to take it to the next level. And he was talking about those two plays. There was a 4th and 3 and then a 2nd and goal that he got, like a 2nd and goal. I think he said he got to his 3rd or 4th option on that play. And he just feels like Rocco is so much further advanced than most young players. And I know you were coaching him in high school. So what does that mean to you when you hear the coach say things like that about him?
It's great. It's, I expect that to be where it's at, because, if you want to be that guy and do those kind of things, you got to be able to understand what you're doing. But also when you're on the field, it's one thing so we know a lot of guys in the past, really smart quarterbacks, where they were at college, like they could draw it all up, but sometimes on game day, it doesn't register on what you're learning. Right. So, I remember myself, Chad Pennington, we created him a to-do sheet, everything a quarterback needs to know from Sunday, the next day after the game, till kickoff. Right. So the process through red zone, blitz, 3rd down. So he has all these things, and these, and there's probably like a list of 20 things, 25 things. You have to have these answers to these questions. If you don't, then you're not going to be prepared for the game. And I can tell when he plays that he's prepared. We talk about different things, and I ask him a lot of questions because I want to hear his responses to things, and there's a lot of clarity. And if there's not, he's got to get those answers, and you can tell. So when you're talking about coverages and when they're doing this and that, then you translate and process that information that, maybe that 4th progression guy or all the way across the field. Like, do you understand why you get from 1 to 4? And do you ever get to 1 to 4? What would be those reasons why? And then processing that in 5 seconds, coming from a huddle, that's what makes it good. So yeah, he made a couple decisions, and listen, he's probably ahead of the game in that standpoint, but he's also in line making mistakes that are in line to where he is as a redshirt freshman. So just don't make them again. He's going to throw picks. He's going to have pick sixes. They're going to happen, but can you battle adversity? So far, every mistake he's made, he's bounced back on the next series and had success. So you got to be strong-minded at that position, and right now he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, preparation breeds confidence. Confidence breeds winning. That's the old Don Shula line, right? And that's a good one. I love that one, and it's true at every level of your life. Whatever you're doing, folks, if you're prepared, if you've done your homework, you go into a test, you're going to kick ass. And if you're not confident, and that little thing's going in the back of your mind, you're not going to do well, and you can't be at your best. So that's why you prep, folks. Anthony Becht joining us here. Have you been watching the Bucs at all? Any surprise in the 3-1? I'm not shocked, honestly. There's too much championship pedigree on this team for them to fall down. I'm pleasantly surprised at the record, and I thought Baker would be good, but I didn't think he'd be this good. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've caught a few of their games. Look, they got nothing to lose this season, right? And no one's picking them to do anything. I really I'm a huge Todd Bowles fan. I've always been that all the way back since his first year in the league, which was my rookie year with the Jets. He went through his coaching, different levels, the process correctly, and he deserves what he's getting. And, it just shows that, the defense is always going to be really good. They do have weapons. I mean, I think the questions is always the line. I mean, you always want to have a good line. And I just think they've done a good job. And you learn a lot about younger players that either get drafted or they bring in. And Baker Mayfield, you know what? I was never, and it's kind of funny, I was never a Baker Mayfield fan coming out because of the talk of him being the top pick of the draft or even a first round. I just didn't think he was that guy.
Yeah.
I loved him in college. What he did and his chip on his shoulder. But and when he got to the league, you want a guy to be successful. You don't ever think that he's not. I just, from a football standpoint, didn't think it was going to work. I like this Baker Mayfield now that's in the league.
That's a great point.
He's gone through the ups and downs. He's been at multiple teams now. He's been humbled by the game, and he gets another opportunity to be the guy. And it looks like he's buying in. The team, the coach, everyone seems like they really have embraced what he's brought to the table. And he does have a skill set that he's a hungry guy. He can move in the pocket. He can get away from pass rush. He can throw on the move. He's got a swagger about him now. He's got all those things that equate to a really good quarterback. And look, they're 3-1. Big game against the Lions. I believe that's who they got this week. And again, I liked that. I picked them against the Eagles. I thought they were going to be hang pretty close against the Eagles, and things go their way. But you're not going to play the Eagles every week either. So this will be a good litmus test of where they are. I think they'll hang tough. I think they can win this game for sure.
Anthony, speaking of skill positions, what do you see out of the young tight end and Cade Otton? What do you like from him, and what do you think he needs to improve to progressively get better for this team?
Yeah, I got to meet Cade at the Combine. He was actually injured. I was representing the liaison for the tight end group, talked a little bit about him, and I saw him this year in camp. And I think the best thing about Cade, he gets to play now. He's the guy. I mean, you need reps. I always a big fan of just listen, if he's your guy, force feed him the ball. The more confidence players have, the more successful they can be. I love his size. I love his toughness. He's got really good hands. He's caught balls and been around in a huddle with Tom Brady. So he's been around those pressures of understanding he's got to be in the right spot at the right time. And now, I'm sure that's really progressed his growth, is just understanding the level that needs to be played at. So, I think I think he's going to be really good. I really do. I think he's going to be a good player. What his level of progression is, what his ceiling is, I think that's yet to be seen. But the fact that he's playing now, I just think the more to utilize him, the better he'll be. So hopefully the Bucs continue to, let him shine a little bit, give him the targets that he needs, and then Baker finds them. The tight ends are those security blankets. And again, the guy gets 5-6 targets every week. That would bode well for his future.
Anthony Becht joining us here. How good can this team be, you think, this Buccaneers team? I think they can win the division. I don't think that anybody's going to beat the 49ers or the Eagles in this league. I don't think they're there yet. But I think, this year has always been to me about developing, that next Super Bowl run. What are these young players going to do? What some of the older players that may still be around in 2 or 3 years, kind of like what the Eagles have gone through. Win one, keep some core guys, come back and get to another. And from so far, what I've seen in some of these young players is a real positive. And I just get a good feel for this team that they can maybe get to the playoffs, and these young kids can learn along the way and become players. And even some of these undrafted kids who've really shown out, like Izien.
Yeah, no, Rutgers. Yeah, I really liked Izien. Matter of fact, I didn't think Izien was going to make a team. I actually liked him prior to him actually doing anything in training camp, and all of a sudden, I find out he may be starting, I was like, oh, I got to cross his name off the list to bring him into my team. So I always like Rutgers guys, especially the defensive players that come out of Rutgers. I just know they're well coached and they play hard. And but yeah, I do believe they can win the division as well. And then, when you get to the playoffs, you're right. I mean, any given Sunday, Saturday, whatever that game may be, that you could pull off a game. But you're right. Just to get to the playoffs, if they can win a division, I think it bodes well for them. I think, this will be the biggest test for Jason Light in a long time.
Yeah.
Building a team around, the question marks at what that quarterback long-term may be and how you build a solid, nucleus and you say core, but there are going to be some guys that quite frankly won't be here next year. And,
right.
You got to replace and build and continue to do those things. So if Baker can kind of last, he may be a nice little 2-3 year buffer. And you can get some pieces in line. So, there's no real rebuild anymore, right? You're always contending.
Yeah.
You contend every year at whatever level that may be, because if you don't, and you're kind of in the gray area, then, if you win too many games, fans will be pissed off because you're not getting a great draft pick. If you lose too many games, the fan base wants everybody fired, but you get that good draft pick. So, but when good draft picks go to the teams, it's usually because they're really, really bad. So you don't want to, you kind of always, for me, is you can either push forward or be in the middle pushing forward, so that you always have a chance to get a little bit better the next year. But yeah, I think that, it's good to see them where they're at, because I don't think anybody really believed, when Brady is gone and all this shook out and whatever the quarterback situation may have been, that there was a lot of confidence that, the Bucs were going to be able to have a start like they are.
Better tight end. Is it Kelsey for you, or is it Kittle? Why? Who's the better tight end out of both?
Good question.
Thank you.
Well, listen, I mean, Travis Kelce's an elite route runner. Just so smooth. And, he's what you're getting there. I think if I were to pick a guy, I would probably pick Kittles, because he's great at all aspects of the position. There's a level of play that he maxes out every single week at everything he does, whether he's blocking, protecting, running routes. He's just got a lot of energy. I just love what he puts forth in 4-quarter game. Travis, again, him and Mahomes are locked in. Like, they find each other, whether he may be on the right route or he's open immediately where he's coming out. It seems like to me that, he's just got a nice knack for route running that's a little different than a lot of guys, even receivers in the league. But, it comes with, me, I'm a little old school. Like, I want to, the other stuff that comes with Travis is great. It's good for the fans and all that stuff. But for me, I just know Kittles looks like he's just like out in every single step.
So you're saying the Swifty factor is a negative for you in your analysis in the end? So
it's not a negative, but it does bring a negative vibe, because
you think it's negative for the team overall because it's a distraction that the team would rather not have?
I mean, I think at this point he's just like, I don't know he got his followers, all that stuff worked. I don't know what else you could possibly get.
And now he's got to be.
The NFL wants it to last, of course. So
now he's forever known as Mr. Pfizer too. And he's going to get locked in.
I did hear he got paid $2 million. This is if you get $2 million to do an endorsement, I'm wondering what that list would be for you that you wouldn't do for $2 million. I'm just saying. I don't know. I could probably.
I think killing children and elderly people would be on it. So I'd say no.
Well, okay, no. Yeah, I'm not saying
genocide would be off my list. So yeah, I'm going to say no to that. Thank you, Big Pharma, but I'm good. I got to sleep at night, but you go ahead. You got Taylor. But I'm here. I'm here for the Fauci, Mr. Pfizer, Aaron Rodgers, RFK debate. I'm here for that. If they want to do that on my show, I will referee.
My head. Yeah.
Anthony, I got to ask you, because of what you just said, is Gronkowski the best tight end in your opinion of all time, or is Gonzalez in there? Who are your top tight ends?
You're coming hard today, Blake.
I am. Anthony's great. I know he knows his stuff here. So
yeah.
Who's your top tight end?
On the edge of my seat.
Yeah. I would say Gronk is the best tight end. Just pure size, athleticism for his size, the contested catch, the rampant production that he had over a long spurt of time. I mean, you think at the end there when he was getting hurt and took a year off, I mean, the numbers would be, pretty sick as far as just what he had done. He was on pace for touchdowns. It was going so fast for him. So, but I also know that he sticks his face in there.
Devastating.
That as a Buck as well. I mean, here's a guy that didn't have to do that, and quite frankly, I thought he did too much of it for the Bucs. But it was definitely something that helped the team. So, he's the greatest, man. Again, just game day. And again, you could say the same thing. It's like, okay, he had a lot of stuff on the off the field that were maybe crazy, but man, there's just something about him that just when football came around, it was all ball and he was dialed in. So, and not to take in every tight end over the course of time has a lot of attributes. I think that I just like the guys that are complete. And, to me, he was complete at every aspect at a high level.
You did Jets preseason, right?
Yeah, I did the Jets preseason games. And
so you're there for Hard Knocks and the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. What was that circus like? And then,
man, I tell you, I went to a couple practices in Florham Park. I went to the Bucs training practice. I went to Carolina's practice in Carolina but the practices that I went to in training camp with the Jets, I mean, it was the who. I mean, it was just the sideline access was like nothing that I had seen before. But I feel terrible. I'm true to the green and white. They've been honorable to me and loyal to me. I've been collecting paychecks from them since 2000.
Yeah,
when I came out. I mean, to this day. So it's to see him come out with that flag and then 4 plays later collapse like that. I mean, it just kind of
sucks.
There's a lot of anger there. So listen, I mean, you're not in a terrible place. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk, Zach, and what you can do. He's played well the last 2 games.
He really has.
With the medical, field is saying about him getting back early. I don't know how. I mean, at his age to even risk that, but you never know. I mean, maybe they can hang around and sneak in, and then maybe there's something there. But I still like the team. I would have loved to see an A-Rod quarterback in New York and just see how that could have worked out.
Fantastic. It would have been so fun. Hey, last question, and thank you for your time. The Battlehawks, you're the head coach, GM, and we're hearing XFL, USFL merger now. What's the future of this league? What does it look like? Is it ever going to get attached to the NFL as kind of a farm system? Because I really think that's where a huge success would be, developing quarterbacks and players like that. I think that's a thing. What's the future?
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys read and know what I know. There's a preliminary impending merger that's trying to happen. It's going through the proper channels. Once that gets back and the DOJ and the SEC approve or disapprove it, we'll know how that's going to shake out from that merger talk. I would assume for myself, I mean, if it does go through or whatever it doesn't go through, St. Louis is the best market in both leagues, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely,
there's safety. There's a safety net there as far as my team and what I've been doing. So that's great because of what the fan base has done. As far as the question about, I mean, there was baby steps being taken place with the XFL and us in the NFL, and I do believe at some point they'll figure it out. And again, it's more than it's not just simply, hey, we'll take your 4th quarterback and your back end tackles or whatever. The bigger questions are things that no one wants, like healthcare and workers' comp and employer act, whatever those things are. Like
the stuff that ruins everything, that brings lawyers into play.
To cross over, there's a lot of that. But if you're just talking about pure, I mean, the NFL went from 8 to 16 practice squad players when COVID came around for the benefit of teams having guys kind of available to them. They never stopped that, but there is a cost to doing that. So, I love to see the NFL at least eliminate the 16, bring it back to 8, and then we can filter those players through our league because those players aren't preparing themselves to do anything.
They're not doing it. Yeah.
Being practice dummies, right? So,
yeah.
If that can happen, that's a start. And then, of course, maybe it's, maybe there's for every team in our league, we represent 4 teams, let's say hypothetically, and those 4 teams can allocate players to us that they put on a list. Once they can kind of clear all those other in-between things, that would be cool. I mean, to do that, you wouldn't get your choice of guys, but you'd be getting better players, hypothetically better players that are out on the streets or not playing as well. So, everybody's going to be, in the meetings with our GM, everybody's kind of like, oh, well, I want to have first dibs. Well, you wouldn't have them anyway. So you kind of just take what you have. So that's one possible proposal that could work. Yeah. But, I think it will happen. I think the most important thing for the XFL and all these spring leagues is longevity and having a product that sticks. Once it sticks, I think that's when the NFL will say, okay, hey, year 3, year 4, you guys are rolling, TV money, all that stuff. Great. Yeah. Now, let's talk, and then I think the NFL maybe can implement dollars and all that stuff to make it part of what they're doing. But, again, it's our league, just specifically where we're at now. The XFL is its own entity. So we want to advance as many guys as possible. We led the way with 14 guys in training camps. We got 5 guys that stuck and guys that are close to getting back in again if they get that call because of injuries during camp. So proud of that. And at least the league's doing that for some of these players.
Awesome stuff, Anthony Becht. Appreciate you, my friend. Proud Papa. Iowa State ratings going up huge in the Tampa Bay area. Everybody's loving on Rocco. Made me some money this week, so I'm happy. I'm a happy camper, bro. No, you didn't hear that. No, you didn't hear that. No. None of that goes on, especially at Iowa State. None of that stuff goes on. Great stuff, my man. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it,
guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff there by Anthony.
Oh, he's tremendous. He is.
He's
tremendous. Like, shut up, JP. Stop talking about gambling and Mr. Pfizer.
I don't want any part of that. Are you surprised he took Kittle over Kelsey? Because Kittle, I don't think he necessarily gets his just due because he has.
Look at it last week, three touchdowns. I think he's right though when it comes to the Swifty stuff.
Yeah, Swifty
stuff is like at first it's funny, haha, and then there's a lot of players in that locker room. They're like, I don't want people talking about Taylor Swift. I'm talking about freaking Kansas City Chiefs. I'm talking about me. Yeah. So. And Kelsey's, and now the whole, you take the money, you take the $2 million from Pfizer, the heat's coming. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's fair or not, that's a red hot topic to a lot of people that have gone through a lot of crap for that. And you want to take the money, good. You're going to take the shit too.
That's it. You're going to absolutely take it right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, quick break. When we come back, Leo Haggerty's going to join us. We're going to talk some USF football. Tough loss this past weekend. Can they get back on the right side and get a win this week? We'll talk some USF when we come back. Don't forget about the patio, folks. It is the best place to watch football in South Tampa and all of Tampa Bay. Under the stars, the weather's turned now. Come watch it under the palm trees. Great staff at the patio. Great fun, great drinks. It's not one of those hoity-toity bars are going to cost you $12 for an IPA, folks. And the happy hour is awesome. 3 to 7, $30 off beer and wine, $4 White Claws when we're there on Fridays now. We're moving to Fridays. A week from this Friday, we will be at the patio. We'll be giving away some Lightning tickets as well. So come on out on those Fridays from 5 to 7 and come out every night because that's where people meet at the patio. Back in 3.
Coins sitting around the house. Well, the Golden Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. It will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Fitz, the mortgage guy, did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz, the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
Oh, that was fun. Fun chat with Anthony Becht. Hopefully we'll have him back on and keep up with Rocco. And next up, hopefully get Brad Johnson on next week to talk about Max and Jake at Texas A&M. All these guys I covered, now their kids are killing it. It's I'm definitely getting old, but it's fun. It's fun to watch. It really is. And it's fun to watch these guys, have to watch their kids because they're a nervous wreck. Like Anthony said, they're just a nervous wreck. I love it. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports, covers USF and other things. What's up, Leo? How you doing, bud?
JP, I'm fine, but if you think you're old, I'm a damn dinosaur then. Come on. What are you
Still going strong,
though,
baby. Still going strong.
Wait a second. Let me get it beaten here. Oh, here we go. All right.
They haven't made you extinct yet, baby. You're still fighting a good fight. I love it. You know why? Because you got to stay in it. You got to keep going to press conferences. You got to keep moving. Got to stay active. Got to keep the old bean working. So you're doing a great job.
I appreciate that.
All right, let's go back to last week. The Fighting Trent Dilfers got the best of USF. The USF just could not get off the field defensively. What was different this week for the defense? What happened?
Well, you know what, JP? First of all, we sat there and said, this team they're playing can score points. They put up 29, I think, on Georgia. Yeah, I don't think anybody's done that. So, Zeno can play. He's got some weapons. The biggest thing that happened, JP, is 3 of their top 4 tacklers were 2 safeties and a corner. That never bodes well when those guys are tackling. And for the first time, and I'm going to ask Coach Orlando this in about 20 minutes when I get on the Zoom. That's the first time that defense looked like it thought and didn't react. And it just kind of sat there. And by that time, that ball carrier was gone. And the bottom line is you can't give up 608 yards. I get that. but you got to stop the run. 253 yards and a lot of splash plays. You know what? Bury that tape. That's only one game. They're 3-3, and JP, Peter, I think you and I, we'd have taken 3-3 out of the gate, wouldn't we?
Oh, heck yeah.
I agree. I definitely think you would have, although I think there are a lot of people out there expecting this to be a win, especially with Dilfer and his meltdown. What was the most disappointing aspect of this game? Was it the big plays and the explosives that they talked about in the press conference, or was it the fact that their inability to stop the run? And Leo, do you think they can get back to that defensive effort, that defense that shut down the Crimson Tide earlier on in the year?
Peter, you're reading my mind, because that's the third question I'm going to ask Coach Orlando. How do you get this confidence back? I mean, they got to do that. I'll tell you what, a very telling part of Coach Golish's press conference yesterday was, because I asked him, I said, hey, it's 21-14 the end of the first quarter. You're not out of it. He said, yeah, but we're not playing well, and my stars aren't playing like stars. Boy, was that a telling comment. The people that needed to step up didn't. And that, him saying that, that's going to resonate through that team. We're going to see how they come out against FAU, because let's be honest, guys, this team's got a shot to get to a bowl game. And if they get to 7 or maybe 8 wins, they got a real chance to get to a really decent bowl game. But they got to get by FAU.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And he talked about it in his press conference. I'm going to play the sound. In fact, I'm going to go out to the sound here, a 2-minute sound, guys, where I ask him, you take any positives out of this game here on the JP Peterson show. Here we go. Positives that you take out of this loss to UAB tonight.
Positive you take out of it is you could see it and feel it on the sideline. The guys kept swinging. They just kept talking about what we keep talking about, which is you just keep swinging, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. That's positive. You know, there's a legitimate energy and belief that we're going to get back into it. I think history would teach them that that's happened this season, which I think makes it easier to do. But the positive is that we've got something to continue to grow off of. Again, like I told the guys after the game, like if we're really going to be a process-driven team, we got to figure out where we went wrong in our process. Coaches too, but from a positive standpoint, the guys kept swinging. Again, the reason for the onside kick, the reason that we were going to go try to push it down the field there in the fourth quarter, because the guys wanted to do that because they truly believe they can go dig out of it. So the positive is the guys will keep fighting. There's probably more negatives than positives in there, but the positive is they'll keep fighting.
All right, so there you go. Welcome back here on the JP Peterson show here.
So FAU coming in. And there's a lot of teams on this schedule, Leo, that are in the bottom 25 in terms of the rankings in 130, whatever they are, how the D1 programs we have now. And Florida Atlantic's one of them. What are your thoughts on this week and the rest of this schedule? They can get bowl eligible, and that would just be huge for this team.
Yeah, let's be honest. Florida Atlantic, Connecticut, and Temple. They got Temple at home. That's huge because, JP, Peter, you and I know it's a house of horrors for USF when they got to go up to Philly. So that, win 2 of those 3, you got 6 wins. And that's huge because for this team to go from 1-11 to bowl eligible, hey, that's a plus. Check that box. The big thing that can't happen this week, guys, you had 9 penalties last week. You had 3 turnovers. You got to cut down on the turnovers. You got to cut down on the penalties. Again, the team scores 35 points playing badly. Think about what they could do playing well. And again, you're going to have to deal with your quarterback. He's a young kid. He's going to make mistakes. The big thing he's got to remember, and they've got to impress this on him, hey, when you're in the red zone and it's not 4th down, throw it away. Fight the next down. Don't just try to throw it into coverage. And again, that interception he had, the worst thing was the 2 plays before that should have been intercepted.
Yeah.
So that concerns me a little bit that he's trying to force the football. But again, they got to get their confidence back. The offense got their confidence back in that fourth quarter when they got to 35 points. The defense, we're going to find out because if FAU comes out and just marches down the field twice, it could be Katie barred the door again.
Well, I tell you what, I talked to Brown also after the game, asked him about the 60-yard touchdown, which we'll come back and talk about once again, and then the turnover situation if UAB's defense did anything differently against him, and here's what he had to say. Bring me back to the 60-yard touchdown. What did you see on that? Is that a called play? Is that you changing the play at the line of scrimmage? Go back to that 60-yard touchdown.
That was a play called, and it was blocked very well by the offensive line up front, and Naquan, I believe, sprung it. He made a critical block, which allowed me to get up inside and make one guy miss and end up scoring.
You had a couple turnovers. Do you feel like UAB on defense did anything that you weren't prepared for?
No, sir. Just me forcing the ball and not keeping two hands on it when I should have.
So there you go. And I mean, he talked about it, and we keep on continuing to harp on it. He's 19 years old in his 8th start, but you can't have those turnovers, and it was an ill-advised throw, right? And the fumble, you really can't do anything about because you're under pressure. You got to have better pocket awareness, but also your offensive line has to help you out, right, Leo?
Yeah, let's talk about that offensive line, Peter. No Donovan Jennings again. We got to take a look at that this Saturday and see if he's back, because that's a big hole they're trying to fill in that offensive line. You know, he's like a 6th or a 7th year player for him. So, yeah, a lot of experience.
Leo, there's been a lot of talk about USF possibly moving to the ACC this week. We've seen a lot of smoke out there. They've been put on some national lists. There's been reports that the ACC has vetted the University of South Florida. What do you know about this? What are your thoughts on this possibility?
Guys, they got to go somewhere. They can't just stay in the AAC. And it's not that they can't compete there. They can't financially exist there. They got to get to a Power 4 conference. You know, the Pac-12 is going to go away. We know that. But they got to get somewhere where they have some money to play with. Right now, the only thing they're getting from the AAC is $5 million a year. You know, that's chump change walking around money. When you look at what, you know, the ACC's, they're going to be at $60 million. The SEC is going to be at 70. The Big Ten is going to be at 100. So, you know, you got to get into something. And the perfect fit for them, as dumb as it sounds, is the Big 12. Because now you got, bang, UCF right next door. That would make sense from a non-revenue sports plan, because now you could come in and your baseball team can play USF and UCF in the same trip. Your basketball team, your volleyball team, you know, boom, boom, you got 2. That would make sense. But, yeah, guys, I got to agree. They've got to move somewhere or their relevancy is going to vanish.
Right. Yeah, the report is from Jim Williams that it's Tulane and USF out of this conference. I mean, that's pretty big. You know, second team, you like to be the first team, but to be the second team, and remember the last couple of years, this team hasn't been able to put together wins, and now they're on the radar of an ACC. I don't care if they lose Clemson or Florida State all day long. That's still a top conference.
And they will.
Yeah, they most likely will. Right.
Yeah. As long as USF is moving up and getting to that revenue level, because it's going to be impossible to sustain an athletic program with a stadium like this anyway. I mean, they need money to pay for that stadium. And as Leo said, $5 million a year ain't going to get it done. So, I think they're in a good spot. I think they with the new stadium on the way, the new facilities, the big market, especially if the ACC is going to lose a team in Florida and maybe 2, they might lose Miami and FSU. USF is a must-have, an absolute must-have for the ACC. So I think they're in a good position. What do you think, Leo?
Yeah, I think they are. And JP, the problem with seeing these teams move from Power 5 or Power 4 conferences to Power 4 is Florida's going to fight this tooth and nail for them coming into the SEC. They don't want Florida State in because they just don't want that to happen. They have to fight that recruiting battle. I think the ACC is going to find a way to keep Clemson and Florida State happy.
No way.
That's the big thing. No way. Well, the problem is, if you don't go to the SEC, do you go to the Big Ten?
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think FSU did not go to the SEC in 1991, 92. I was there when Roy Kramer and all the stuffed shirts from the SEC came to Tallahassee and waiting for Bobby Bowden and everybody to kiss their ass and kiss their ring, and told them, well, you're not going to get any revenue for the first few years if we decide to reach down and grab you out of your muckety muck. And the ACC came in and said, hey, we want you. They wined and dined them. We're going to give you all this money, blah, 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 blah. And FSU made the right decision at the time. They went to the ACC and won 3 national championships. Okay. And with 14 years in the top 5, that was the right move at the right time. If the SEC comes, but this time it's different. Now the Big Ten is on the verge of usurping the SEC as the more relevant national conference. If the Big Ten were to get a Southern outpost with 2 humongous programs in Clemson and FSU, and then add a North Carolina and Miami, all of a sudden you look at the Big Ten with them, their national footprint now is tremendous. And the SEC is very much a regional football conference still. And everybody wants to say, well, they got all the great teams. Well, let's look at it this year. Just in 1 year. How does it look?
Now.
Exactly. 1 year. That's just 1 year of NIL and transfer portal, which is making parity all over the place. So, it becomes about money now. And FSU and Clemson are going to bring a lot to the table to the Big Ten. And the SEC can't be just sitting there on their high horse like they always do going, oh, we don't need FSU. No, they need FSU and they need Clemson and they need North Carolina and Miami or some combination of that. Yeah, they're going to be good. They got Texas. They got Oklahoma. I get it. They're good. They're going to be great. But do they want to be number 2 or do they want to be number 1? And I think the conference that gets those 2 jewels will end up being the highest revenue and the best more national conference. Would you agree?
I don't think there's any doubt about that. But you know what, guys? I think somebody's got to figure out what to do with Washington State and Oregon State yet.
Yeah.
I think the Big Ten, if they're smart, will go after those 2. Then that gives them, I think, 18 teams, 16 teams in there.
18,
now you got room for. I don't think you want to go above 20.
No,
that's me.
No.
Because now you go 10-10. Well, I'll tell you what. Then you got a perfect fit with Clemson and Florida State. Then you got a perfect fit there, and JP, I hate to say this, but you're right. The SEC needs to come off its high horse. Those days of being the dominant conference, they are over.
Yeah, the transfer portal and NIL have changed all that. People said the rich are going to get richer, and I said, no. Wait a second, because now any program can get a booster like SMU has that has access to the Saudi National Fund or whatever the hell that thing is. And they're like, yeah, we don't need any money from the ACC. We just want the platform. We'll go figure out how to make the money. Sure. Yeah, we'll join without any money. Fine. Good for us. And they're smart to do so. SMU could have been left out in the cold in all this, but they said, no, we're good. Jump us up into the ACC. We'll take care of our own finances. Super smart way to do it. So it's all changed. It's all changed. And if the SEC is going to, kind of sit back on their fat cash, which they have, and think that they can't go after FSU and Clemson or don't need to, I think that's a mistake. I think it's a mistake because things change fast. And if you don't evolve with NIL and transfer portal, you're going to be extinct. You're going to be a dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. Like me, a dinosaur. But you know what, guys? You talk about the SEC. Well, I'll tell you what. The ACC, they better sit down with Clemson and Florida State and say, what do we need to do to keep you? And
listen, that ship has sailed, man. Those arrogant a-holes have always been that way. And, listen, as I mentioned, they wined and dined and got FSU into the conference, right? And after there's, as we know, there's the recruiting process and then there's the reality once you get there, right? They're 2 very different things, right?
All of a sudden you're cannon fodder, right?
Exactly. So, yeah, I think FSU is chomping at the bit to get the hell out. And the introduction, bringing Cal and Stanford in, honestly, was the last straw for them. Like, you're not serious about football. You're not serious about athletics. You want to talk about academics, which sounds bad. Sounds bad, and that's horrible to say. But the bottom line is This has nothing to do with academics. It's about big money. It's about television revenue. We're talking about athletics. We're not talking about your chemistry department. All right. Don't get butthurt because we're not putting an importance on that. It is what it is. This is the reality. The chemistry department ain't funding any of these big projects. Okay. It's football, and more football. So,
and you know what, guys? I'm going to go back to Dick Vermeil at UCLA. Now, I know this is 30 years ago, but Dick got perturbed a little bit at some of the reporters talking about. He said, you know what? Let's put the USC and UCLA, their 5 top math professors, on the 50-yard line. Let's see how many people they draw. I'm evaluated.
Exactly.
I'm evaluated every Saturday.
That's
I'll
right.
tell you what, JP, I agree with you here. I don't think the shoe has fallen yet. I think it's going to be still come to the highest bidder, and we'll see what happens.
And that's it. And I think there's a bidding war going on right now. We shall see. All right, Leo, tell everyone how they can get your content there at Amped Up Sports.
Hey, go to Twitter, Amped Up Sports 1. I just posted my NHL screaming in the cheap seats, JP. I don't know about you, but I'm happy hockey is back.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, big night last night. We had fun at Amalie Arena last night.
I'm telling you, hey, how about Paul getting 2 power play goals? Man, oh, man.
I like him on that first unit. Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big body out there, because if you go after Kucherov, there's Paul to fight with you. So
that's right.
Not going to happen. But go there, go to Amped Up Sports. And Peter, I want to thank you for this, and JP for allowing me to come on. We've got 4,700 new looks on our website.
Nice.
That's for coming on your show.
Nice.
You got it, brother. You got
All right.
it.
Good stuff there. Leo Haggerty. Right.
Thanks,
there.
Leo. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. We have a late ad to the program. Bobby the Chief Taylor is going to join us at 11:30.
Nice.
So we will chat with him about the Lightning in case you missed our first opening salvo on the Bolts last night. But we'll get the Chief's take on what he saw last night. But up next, we'll take a quick break. We're going to get into some more NFL and college football. Anthony Richardson, bad news for the former Gator quarterback. We'll tell you about that. Couple other big injuries in the NFL and some other fun stories to talk about with Mr. Pfizer. So stay with us. We're brought to you by Italiano Insurance. The great folks over there, they will get your insurance right. Have them shop your insurance, folks. You could say, they saved me $1,000, man. That is real freaking cash these days, right? Stop complaining about inflation. Well, you can complain, but do something about it. Get less insurance costs. And that's a place where you can save a lot of money. Homeowners insurance, business insurance, auto insurance. Let them shop it around. It's a free call, 813-877-7799. No brainer. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Gold and Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. I was just perusing the web, looking for all kinds of fun stuff to talk to you folks about. Came across a video of the great one, Ric Flair, partying it up at.
No, Ric Flair himself.
Yeah, he likes to hang out American Social because he lives on Harbor Island, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah,
so I'm trying to recognize and see what. Yeah, he's dancing with some young girl. It looks like. Can you hear that music?
I cannot hear the music.
No,
I can't.
And the caption is "Me when the two evening blue chews kick in." Look at that guy. Just having a time of his life, man. I love that dude.
Video so I can get that uploaded. But yeah, I mean, that's not a shock. I mean, Rick, what is he? 70, 75 years old, and he's still in the prime of his life. I mean, he's still the nature boy.
He's still the nature boy. And I'm going to tell you what, he is still partying like it's 1969. My man, I've seen him around, and just trust me on that.
He's all about the trip. Yeah.
Trust me on that. He ain't slowed down a bit. The Golden Knights unveiled their Stanley Cup banner last night with a giant slot machine as the
I know the NHL loves that. I mean, they absolutely love that.
Well, you know what's good about gambling now here in the United States is now we finally embraced it as for what it is. You know, which is duh. It's been going on under the table for a long time. Now we're just doing it on top of the table, and that's just fine. So,
it's kind of like college football. They've embraced the NIL agreements when that was always going on with agents giving, athletes money. Now it's legal to do that. So,
but yet the NCAA is still somehow suspending coaches and stuff for violations, which just
I don't get that at all.
Did you see the girl that Mark Davis, the Raiders owner, is supposedly dating, 26-year-old Hayden Hopkins?
I did not see Lloyd Christmas and who he was dating.
What a smoke show she is, but I'm sure it's true love.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or about the money. It's definitely not about the haircut because we talked.
Definitely not. She's not his hairstylist. I'm pretty sure that's not the case.
He looks like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. Anthony Richardson got landed on, and this is what happens with running quarterbacks who don't know how to slide.
Yep.
Early on in their career, and he's out 4 to 8 weeks with a sprained AC joint, right shoulder, may need surgery. So enter Gardner Minshew, man.
I actually think they could be a better team, JP, with Gardner because not only does he know that system, he's a veteran presence, and you don't have to go through those rookie bumps in the road with Richardson. Although, to be fair, a lot of people said, well, Richardson was overdrafted number 4. He's got potential, but he's never been able to show it consistently with the Gators. But he's played well, so we'll see how that works out. But getting Taylor back there also will help. And then you also had Zach Moss, who went over 150 rushing yards. So he's trying to prove something. So the Colts, very competitive.
Jonathan Taylor back, yeah.
So it should definitely help that team out. A running back or tight end is your best friend. We should have asked Anthony Becht that. What's a rookie or a quarterback's best friend? Is it a tight end or is it a running game? And we're about to find out here with the Colts going forward.
And the Astros win 9-1 over the Twins yesterday. A great job by Jose Abreu, 3-run homer. Yordan Alvarez continuing to hit. So what do they have in common?
Oh, they spent money and they got a Jose Abreu. That could have been a guy that you put a big bopper with the Rays, which, by the way, I know you were talking about it yesterday, but do you buy the fact of run it back with the Rays? It wasn't the Bucs running it back.
They're going to suddenly spend $120 million on payroll.
Is hell frozen over? I mean, they're going to spend over $100 million. I'm going to have to actually get on this program and apologize to you.
What a joke. They never spent more than $80 million on their opening day payroll. Somehow they're going to jump to $120 million because attendance is up 27%. Oh, and he's going to put the money back into the team? He's never done that before. Why would he do it now?
Well, it's all the money.
And you want to write about them signing Charlie Morton to a 2-year, $30 million deal, saying that the team does spend money, but you don't write about the fact that they did not pick up his $15 million option, let him go to the Braves, who then won the World Series with Charlie Morton. So let's just be consistent in what we're talking about here. The Rays aren't spending any more money. Oh, but what about the Wander Franco deal? They still haven't paid him any decent money yet either. That has yet to kick in, and they're not going to pay Glasnow $25 million. So what about the money they offered Freddie Freeman? Did they? Because they didn't get that deal done. I never saw it done. No. So you could say all this stuff about them spending money. They don't spend money. They're not going to spend money. But they want you to keep believing that, and they'll keep leaking it to the national press that they're trying to spend money, but they never actually do.
Listen, if they spent money this year, would we come on this program and basically say
mea culpa? No, I'm just saying they've never done it in the past. That's fact.
They never done it in the past.
We keep writing articles that they're going to do it in the future, and they never do. So why don't we stop writing articles about that?
I agree.
All right, quick break. When we come back, Bobby the Chief Taylor is going to join us. We're going to talk some hockey with the Chiefs. Stay with us.
Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Have any old coins sitting around the house? Well, the Gold and Diamond Source will purchase a variety of different types of coins and bullion. Their gold buying program includes sterling silver, platinum, and watches. They also accept unusual pieces that other jewelry stores do not, such as gold bars and sterling silver flatware. The list of items they do accept is far more extensive than those they don't, so check it out. While you're there, you can check out the largest collection of any family-owned jewelry store in the country, especially with summer coming to an end. The holidays are right around the corner. Never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially if you're planning on getting engaged or have any birthdays or anniversaries coming up. Come on in and find out what buying jewelry should be like with an expert staff of gold and diamond jewelry enthusiasts. And the best part, they treat you like family. And if you're worrying about price, don't. The Gold and Diamond Source has something for everyone's budget. They even have a layaway. If you stop in and get your favorite piece now, you can have it paid off by Christmas. Plus, you can even finance your purchase with 0% interest for up to 5 years, and you can get a $5,000 diamond for only $83 a month. It's the greatest folks in the world, Julie and Steve Weintraub, the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
To the JP Peterson show. We are currently trying to get in contact with our good friend Bobby the Chief Taylor. Keep bringing him up there, partner, and hopefully he's not out walking the dog.
Okay, sounds good. I know how that is too. Got to do the same thing.
Yeah. Once every now and then the dog has to be walked, and it will slip his mind. But yeah. By the way, other scores last night in the baseball playoffs. The Rangers ousted the Orioles. How about that? All that winning in the regular season by the Orioles goes for naught because big bats come up in the postseason and they bludgeon you. The Rangers win 7-1, their first ever win at Globe Life Field. The Rays had more wins at Globe Life Field in the postseason than the Rangers did coming in, for what that's worth. But they get 11 hits, and Eovaldi was fantastic last night. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. Corey Seager with the big home run, 2 runs scored, RBI. What do those guys have in common? Players the Rays won't pay.
There you go. Exactly. In the AL East, this postseason, 0-2 for the Rays, 0-3 for the Orioles, 0-2 for the Toronto Blue Jays. Supposedly the best division in baseball has gone 0-4.
So what does that tell us about the regular season of baseball? It's much like the regular season in hockey. The only thing the regular season is for is to qualify for the playoffs. And once you're in, you better build your team for the playoffs if you want to have some postseason success. And as you want to say, Peter, many, many times, go look at the numbers. If your payroll is not above what, $100 million, $120 million, or whatever it is.
Yeah. 15th. Yeah. I mean, the only team that's done that the last, 20, 30 years is the 2003 Florida Marlins. People keep on saying, well, the Yankees and the Dodgers, and of course the Dodgers are out now, which the regular season doesn't mean anything. Again, people say, well, it doesn't guarantee you to win a World Series, but it guarantees you to be in contention. You have more of a likelihood if you spend 15th and above to win a World Series than less. And if a team is so about analytics and numbers, I cannot fathom this. Why this is so hard for people out there.
Because that's not the goal, Peter. See, where you get this mixed up is you're using it. That's not the goal. To win the World Series is not the goal of the Rays, and it never has been. The goal of the Rays, and this is actually what they've said, they've stopped saying it now because I caught on and I'm using their words against them, is to play meaningful games in September. Stay in the Rays so people buy tickets and stay interested. And if you make the playoffs, so much the better. That's great. But that keeps the money coming in. That keeps the money coming in. So if you can use the analytics to stay in the race with the lowest payroll possible, that's what the goal is, to make money. That's what people on Wall Street do. They make money. That's what people from Goldman Sachs, Stu Sternberg, do. They make money. He's a Mets fan. Yeah. He's a Mets fan. The Rays are an ATM for him. They're not his favorite team. They're an ATM. And the sooner you as Rays fans realize that, and the sooner the city of St. Pete realizes that, then maybe they'll be able to avoid making a $1.3 billion mistake. But they probably won't. So good luck to them. Yeah. Have fun with that.
Yeah. Pete Alonso, by the way, could be on the trading block. You think the Rays should be interested in him or could be interested in him? It goes back to the money aspect.
Can't afford him.
Could you imagine adding a big bat? I know, because
a homegrown big bat.
Right. I mean, it just doesn't make it. Does it make sense to you? I mean, Nelson Cruz didn't work out, so let's not do it anymore. I heard a fan the other night talking to Facebook. Well, I just care if they're competitive. As long as they're competitive, I'm happy with that. Really? Come on, man. Come on. 25 years and no World Series championships. You got the friggin' Miami Marlins, used to be the Florida Marlins, 2 World Series championships. The friggin' Arizona Diamondbacks have 1 World Series championship. The Rays have nothing with all the level of talent, with all the managerial decisions and everything like that, and you still don't have 1 World Series. And a fan wants to say, well, as long as they're competitive because they're the best story in baseball. It's every year. They're the sisters of the poor, the little train that couldn't,
The Rays are the smartest team in baseball. They get it done. Yeah, they're the smartest team in baseball if you want to make money. Yes, absolutely. If you want to win if your goal is to win championships, not so much.
The Peyton Manning of baseball, right there. Great in the regular season. Yeah, well, hey, listen.
No, they're not, because Peyton Manning won 2 Super Bowls.
Well, he did eventually. But
1.5.
Right. Well, yeah, of course, with the Broncos there. But early on in his career, all those records meant absolutely nothing until when? You get a defense, you got Tony Dungy. I mean, give me some offensive bats here. Enough with the defense and the pitching, although it disappeared. Give me some offensive bats. Give me a stick in this lineup here. Stop, depending on guys like Curtis Meade and
but we're in it for this guy. We're in it for Chapman. We're in it for Olsen. We're in it for Freddie Freeman. We're in it for Shohei Ohtani. We're in it for and I kept telling my man Nick Geddes when we're doing shows, I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. You're just
Make
not.
the deal. If
You're
you
not.
have to overpay. It's not my money. But
Exactly. I know the Rays fans act like it's their money. Like, oh, look what we did. I'm like, is that your money? Did you make the $500 million and put it into another account? Nope, you didn't.
The Rays have no money at all. I mean, they're only worth triple ever since Stu decided to own this team, and Forbes is saying this and that. You're getting revenue sharing from the big market clubs, and you've got a suit out there that we have talked about ad nauseum where the guy has put $500 million aside. What is he using that for besides his mortgage, his gas prices, moving costs with the Mets? What is he using it for? Because he ain't using it for the Rays. And
They're using it for payroll. That's for damn sure.
That's the reason why you don't got fans in this damn town. And I continue to say, no matter where they're at.
They got fans. They're just not going to support him by showing up at the ballpark. There's plenty of people watching. There's plenty of great baseball fans in Tampa Bay. They had plenty of great baseball fans in Tampa Bay, but they're not going to support him and put money in his pocket until he starts, putting it back into the team. That's all there is to it.
That's it.
By the way, give Chief a call, see if you can get him back on.
Yeah.
We can rustle him up. So catch you up on baseball tonight. The Braves and Phillies game 3. They're tied at 1 apiece as it goes to Citizens Bank Park. It'll be Elder against Nola, who's pitched really well in the postseason. Then that's at 5:07, 7:07 on FS1. Astros and Twins game 4. Houston now leads that one 2-1. That'll be at Target Field in Minneapolis. Urquidy for Houston against our good friend Joe Ryan for Minnesota. Thanks for Nelly Cruz. 9:07 on TBS. The Dodgers in an 0-2 hole against the Diamondbacks as they now move to Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. That'll be interesting to see if those folks show up tonight. Lance Lynn for the Dodgers against Fat. I don't even know who this guy is. Brandon Fat, P-F-A-A-D-T. Brandon Fat. That's a fat name you got there, pal. So it must be like an opener, 10.13 ERA and a whip of 3. So, but how about them Diamondbacks? Won 84 games, sneak in, and now they're up 2-0 on the mighty Dodgers. Very interesting. By the way, Max Scherzer says he feels normal, could be ready for an ALCS return for the Rangers as they move into the championship series. So congrats to them. All right. Any word on?
I think he's walking the dog at this point.
He's walking. Okay. We'll catch up with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bobby the Chief Taylor. All right. Do we need to hit another break?
We don't need to. We've hit all our breaks if you want. I mean, anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I want to say thanks to our good friends at the patio and remind you for watching any games, always the place to watch at the patio. We got Thursday Night Football coming up tomorrow night. Who's playing Thursday night? Forgot. We'll look that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's got Thursday Night Football tomorrow night, and then obviously Saturday and Sunday, big college football slate coming up. We'll get into that a little bit more on tomorrow's show. The Bucs and the Lions will be at Sunday at 4:25. So if you cannot get a ticket, by the way, tickets are expensive for this Creamsicle game. By the way, very, very. By the way, thanks for putting on your Creamsicle windbreaker there. Who's that? Is that a Derek Brooks or is that John Lynch? Who signed that for you?
That is Paul Gruber.
Paul Gruber signed.
Paul Gruber signed that jacket.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's immortalized now, and even if it has a little burn mark in it, which you can see here, if I can put it on camera, right there. That is where, and you can actually still see.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
right there, and yeah, got a sign from him. Met him, of course.
Nice.
At the time, again, it was Mark Carrier, it was Paul Gruber, it was Ricky Reynolds, who, by the way, had some great games versus Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. We talked on the sports web. So those were the guys that you kind of, and then Hardy Nickerson came on a little bit in that era. And then, of course, Brooks and Sapp just changing everything. And Alstott, 96, his rookie year, we're in the orange, which was crazy. And then they turned over to the red and pewter. So,
yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's the story in baseball. And coming up this weekend, the Florida State Seminoles will welcome in Syracuse, who formerly unbeaten Syracuse.
And by the way, the Thursday night matchup, so entertaining and enthralling. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Sean Payton-led Denver Broncos. Ugh, that has been a disaster.
Is that tomorrow night?
That is Thursday night, yeah. That's Thursday night. That's what I saw here. Broncos versus, let's see here. Yeah, I thought that was what I saw here. So, yeah, Broncos versus the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. Yep.
Is Taylor coming?
I mean, you haven't heard anything, but you would think it's Thursday Night Football. It's Amazon Prime Video. Of course they're going to take advantage of that, right?
I would think so.
Right? I mean, geez. How much more can you take advantage of this situation before you get tired of it?
Until they get all of her concert thing is out in the theaters. What else? All kinds of silly stuff going on.
They've already wrote a song, an AI song, which, makes some sense of that any way it goes. Anybody that would, have access to an AI with, what we know from the Terminator movies to give you, that type of access. I don't understand that, but they already wrote a song about the breakup coming. So we have to check that out. I have to get that song on. See if we can get that song on that was written by AI there.
All right. So for college football this weekend, you've got FSU Syracuse. That's a nooner. And Florida goes on the road to South Carolina this weekend, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big game, kind of a big game to a certain degree, right? Another foundational game for this program. Can they get over the top here? Can they beat South Carolina?
Can they get a win on the road, for God's sakes?
Yeah.
Beat somebody on the road in the Billy Napier era here, and even going back the past 3-4 years, they've just been dreadful away from the swamp. So, it's a big game for them. South Carolina gave Georgia a little bit of trouble. So they're decent. Shane Beamer's team, they're pretty decent. So it should be a good matchup, no question about it.
Yeah.
What's up with Miami? Are they even playing this week?
After last Saturday's debacle?
Yeah, did they just drop the program at this point?
They should have. I mean, what were they giving up? 2-for-1 tickets there a couple of weeks ago for people to show up?
Yeah, but I mean, even big games, like they can hardly get anybody to show up.
Oh, Saturday, October 14th, they face North Carolina. Drake May and North Carolina.
So they got to go up to North Carolina this weekend?
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that may not necessarily turn out so well for them.
No, that's not going to turn out well for them at all.
Who's the guy that's in the leader in the clubhouse? Is it still for you, Caleb Williams? Is it Sanders from Colorado? Is it Drake May? Is it Penix? Who's the top quarterback in your opinion, JP, and why?
I think Penix is. I mean, his numbers are off the charts. Our man from Tampa Bay Tech here, Michael Penix. I think if it is a quarterback award, it traditionally has been. So if you're going for the top quarterback, and maybe the Heisman folks don't want to give the trophy to a quarterback way out west. Who knows? But they did last year with Caleb Williams. But he was a runaway choice, obviously.
Yeah.
By the way, isn't it awesome to see him in the Wendy's commercials at the Wendy's Heisman House? He's got all types of Wendy's stuff going on, Caleb Williams. So
yeah.
I mean, USC, dude, and they got Notre Dame this week, which is going to be a very interesting test. That USC defense is just god awful. They are horrible, horrible.
It's going to cost. It's going to probably cost them an opportunity to do some big things. It's going to come back and haunt them, and they continue to deny it, but it's bad. It's not good. You remember the 34-7 lead they had over Colorado. I mean, what's a worse defense? Colorado's defense or USC's defense?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah.
Don't say Florida State, because Florida State's not in there, although they've had their fair share of difficulties. So
this is so funny. Like, Miami is putting out stuff on social media that the ACC officials screwed them over. They said the replays clearly showed Don Chaney Jr.'s elbow was down before he was stripped of the football and late in the game. And the fact that it appears the Yellow Jackets receiver Christian Leary began his slide into the end zone on the winning touchdown a half yard short of the goal line. Listen, you dumbasses. The slide rule applies to quarterbacks when they're giving themselves up. His player was clearly not giving himself up. He was already in the freaking end zone. So the slide rule does not apply, you effing morons. Why don't you just take it where it belongs, right up the sphincter, because of your coach. Your coach is an absolute certified moron.
Yep.
You kneel on the freaking ball, and you don't have to worry about any of it. Take this from a person who knows all too well of what ACC officials are capable of. Okay? You want to put that in their hands, that's what you're going to get. Take a knee, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. So, I mean, if this is not the absolute best example of not taking personal responsibility, oh, he was down. Okay. Don't give him a chance to say that he fumbled. Oh, but he started his slide at the 1 yard.
Just kneel with the ball. Right. That's all.
Because he was giving himself up instead of scoring a touchdown. You want to win on that? No, he was just sliding. He was sliding because he was already into the end zone, and it was not giving himself up.
No. Idiots. Bunch of idiots.
I love that. Absolutely love that, folks.
Clown show over down there in Miami.
Yes.
The U is back. Yeah. It's never.
Sorry to hear about this one, but Anthony Richardson, former Gator, is now out 4 to 8 weeks with a sprained shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
That's just awful for him. But, here we go again. This is going to be very interesting for, the NFL as we go through this renaissance of quarterbacks who can run. All right. I mean, look, you have to learn I think the best one is Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
We get so caught up in his sidearm stuff and all these other stuff. Other quarterbacks are doing that, Baker Mayfield, and it's not that hard to do. But it's his running that you go back and look at last year, especially all the big plays in those playoff games, tight games, almost every single one was a huge run on a third or fourth down by Patrick Mahomes. His ability to move around and extend plays and then run for first downs is uncanny, especially on a freaking broken ankle last year. That was just an unbelievable performance by Patrick Mahomes. But what he does better than anybody else is get down. He knows how to slide. You got to Anthony Richardson. I know there's a lot of called runs in certain situations you can't slide, but you better learn how to slide, man. You got to do it. The rules exist, for you to not be hit. So use the rules to your advantage. And some plays you're not going to get, 2 or 3 yards. You're not going to get a yard. You got to take your medicine, but chances are most plays are going to pop for you because of your incredible physical ability to run.
Yeah.
That's okay, but you can't do what you did and, take a sandwich hit like you did, and the guy falls on you, AC joint sprain, you're done 4 to 8 weeks. So here comes Gardner Minshew, who, by the way, we hear that this team, this Colts team, absolutely loves him. He has endeared himself to that team, and I'm here to tell you the Colts look pretty good. They got a great offensive line. They're getting Jonathan Taylor back. They already got Zach Moss. They got some good receivers. Watch out for the Colts.
Yeah, that's it. And then you look at the NFC South with the Bucs. Every team besides Carolina. I mean, how much of a disaster is Carolina? How surprised are you by that? Because
I said it from the very beginning. Bryce Young's going to be a bust.
Right.
He'll get hurt. He's too small. And they're just that's a clown operation, an absolute clown operation over there. Thank God. And we got 2 games with them. So, as we sit here 3-1, it's really 5-1. So,
and I still think Atlanta. I'm not buying Atlanta. Although I will say Desmond Ridder did play his ass off versus.
Told you,
yeah,
he's not as bad as you think. He's not a bum.
Texans defense, though,
he's got a great running game with Bijan Robinson. They got a decent offensive line. It's not that hard to play quarterback if they can, figure out how to use Kyle Pitts and some of their weapons. Atlanta's not going to be a pushover. Not going to be a pushover.
They never are, because even in their worst years, they always give the Bucs problems. And then, of course, you got the Saints, who, by the way, just dismantling New England, and people are asking questions, when is Bailey Zappa's time? And I feel like, look, if Mac Jones were with the San Francisco 49ers, I don't know if he would be able to duplicate the success of Brock Purdy.
No.
I think he would fit in that system a lot better than what
I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. He might be able to. I'll say might. There's a lot of players that might be able to. Stop diminishing Brock Purdy. All you people.
Tremendous.
Stop it.
He's a tremendous quarterback, by the way.
I hate that when people want to it's the system. Oh, really? Well, then why couldn't Trey Lance play in the system?
Exactly. Right.
Why couldn't other quarterbacks not play in the system?
Yeah.
I'm tired of that. The dude can freaking play. Just because all you pundits out there thought he was a terrible quarterback and said he throws, it's a chore for him to throw. I'm sorry, the guy can play. And I'm not here to say that Mac Jones is getting supported in New England. It's not what I'm saying. But he might be able to, but I'm tired of hearing that. Give the kid his due. He can freaking play. He can throw. He throws with great anticipation, great accuracy. You don't have to have a cannon in this league to be great.
No.
But, and it's more important. It is more important in this league to have a roster around the guy than get the guy. There are a lot of I'm kind of contradicting myself. I'm not going to say there are a lot of guys, but there are a lot of quarterbacks would be really good in that San Francisco system. But 11-0 good?
Wow.
Like win every one of your regular season games, most of them by blowouts? Yeah. I mean, they have a great roster. That's true. And to me, if I'm an NFL general manager, I'm going to stop selling the complete store and give away your franchise, Russell Wilson, for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
When you can go out and find guys, do what Seattle is doing. Look at all the resources they got for Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson is on the backside. He's on, 13 or 14 of his career. He's on the back 9.
Yeah.
And look, now Seattle's got a rejuvenated quarterback, probably has 2 quarterbacks better than your one. And look at all the stuff that they got around him offensively and defensively with the picks that you got. If I'm a GM, I'll go get myself a quarterback. Let me build my offensive and defensive lines, and I'll go get Jalen Hurts in the second round. I'm not selling the form. That's why this whole idea of tanking for the number 1 pick is ridiculous. It destroys your franchise in terms of your players, your front office, your coaching staff, because nobody believes in anybody. So you have no honesty, no integrity within your program, because it's just the owner saying tank, and we're going to make sure you don't have any players or support to do so. And so you destroy that whole culture of your program, and then you go get a guy who you don't even know if he's the guy, and your team is already destroyed because it has no culture. And you're bringing in a good guy. It might be a great player, but he's coming into a horrible culture. So it's a stupid idea. It rarely, if ever, works. because you just don't know if that's the guy. But what you're short of doing is losing games and destroying your culture. That's a guarantee. But the prize is not a guarantee. So why would you do that? It's not
I don't know.
I wanted to talk about this real quick. Mark Stoops, Kentucky coach, after getting his ass kicked by Georgia 51-13, said, "I can promise you," on his coach's show, "Georgia, they bought some pretty good players. You're allowed to do these days. We could use some help." That's what they look like. You know what I mean? When you have 85 of them, I encourage anybody that's disgruntled to pony up some more money, which, okay, Mark Stoops is 100% right. And so when he's asking his fan base to pony up some more money so we can go get players like that, and which I don't, but it's a little rich that when you beat Florida the week before and everybody's saying what a great coach you are and how great you've done with the program, and you're getting all the kudos, right? And then the next week you get your ass kicked and you're saying, "I need more players and I need more money."
Look in the mirror, my friend. Have your team ready to go. And at the end of it, I mean, it always comes down to Georgia. Even with their quarterback problems, they still have top-level talent because of Kirby Smart. I mean, come on.
They do, and like I said, Stoops is absolutely right. But I didn't see him, deflecting any of the the praise the week before. So he certainly had enough then, right?
Yeah,
but no, he's absolutely right. He's 100% right, and that's what I love about college football now. Now, all you boosters who are complaining, you can just say, "Hey, you want a better team? Give me some more money.
Give me some more money. Pay up. Yeah, don't complain. Don't complain at all." So.
All right. Our thanks to Anthony Becht. Great interview with him about his son, Rocco. And we talked some Bucs football and then XFL as well, and Mr. Pfizer. So we talked all that stuff. Great tight end stuff. Go check out that Anthony Becht interview. That was in the 10:30 portion of the show. Leo Haggerty, we thank him. And we'll get Bobby the Chief Taylor on tomorrow to talk a little hockey with you guys as well. So have a great day, everybody. We will chat with you tomorrow.